So ADHD comes with a lot of challenges, and I feel like the biggest challenge that we've faced with is our emotions and how we deal with regulating our emotions and our attention. So the funny thing is about ADHD is the acronym is Attention Deficit Hyperactive Disorder, but I feel like the emotional part, the emotional aspect of it, is overlooked, right? And it's really important that we are able to not just manage the traits that we have with ADHD, which is a mixture of the emotional side and the attention side, right? But and just the dopamine intake, right? It all comes down to just our choices of dopamine intake that affects our life. So, for example, if we have this project idea, we love the idea, we've got this dream of building this business, or we've got this dream of building this amazing um, project that is purpose driven, right? It could be a book, it could be a business idea, service, product, or whatever, right? We need to be able to allocate as much time as possible to that thing, right? So time and energy into that thing. What tends to happen is that because we're in a deficit of dopamine, right? So kind of in a way that's where kind of the deficit is, right? So we have a low supply of dopamine. So we're always trying to search for that. And a lot of the time we're just going to things that we know already. And the things that we know already that works is if we go to doom scroll, we're going to get a spike. If we eat sugar, we're going to get a spike. If we watch porn, we're going to get a spike. If we vape, we're going to get a spike. If we drink alcohol, we're going to get a spike. There's all these quick dopamine sources that we use. And I hate when I'm going to pause this because obviously the doors. Yeah, so what just happened there is extremely annoying for someone that has ADHD is that the door buzzes when I'm doing a recording, right? And it's a package for my partner. And I'm just going to continue where I left off because I was going to start the whole thing again, but I'm not. But basically, what I'm trying to say here is that there is a very clear constraint for us that's happening, which is where our attention goes, right? Our energy flows. And what I've noticed is that unless we protect those hours or those minutes, it might be for some people because obviously they might be working a full-time job and they're trying to juggle. Unless we allocate time specifically for something and we put our attention on it and only hyper focused attention on it, nothing moves forward. Like nothing makes progress. And unfortunately, because of this deficit that we have with, like I mentioned, with all of these quick dopamine sources that we're going for to try and fill up our tank, it's reducing our battery as well at the same time. In the same breath, it's bringing us up, but then it's bringing us really down again. So, is that worth it? Is that doom scroll worth it really if you know it's going to give you the spike, but then it's going to make you feel really bad later? Not only are you going to be down in terms of dopamine because you're going to have to crash, but you're going to start making yourself feel bad. So you're going to be even lower than that threshold that you're at, and just things are just going to spiral into just this. It's like a vicious cycle, right? So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to call this video, the vicious cycle of ADHD. So it's a vicious cycle that we're having here, and we need to get out of it. And the only way that we get out of it is that we break that loop. We break something that's been, we keep doing this cycle. We just got to like cut and make sure that that cycle doesn't keep doing that loop anymore. So how do we do that? Is we add structure and we add a system in place to identify where these things that are taking up our time are coming from. Like so if I say to myself, I'll give you a real life example, right? Um, I'm obviously a business owner, entrepreneur. Is really the hat, right? But I do content creation in that, and I do coaching in that skill set that I'm doing and my service. There's a set of activities that I have to do as an entrepreneur, right? And anyone that's an entrepreneur knows that you have to do outreach, and anyone that's an entrepreneur knows that you have to do content to obviously attract your ideal audience, right? Those are the two most important things, obviously, and then there's obviously the main important thing is that you deliver for your clients, right? So there's only three aspects to a business, really. If you're an entrepreneur, that's the only three things you really should be focused on, right? Often, what ADHD entrepreneurs do specifically, right, will focus on things that they feel like doing in those three. If they feel like doing content, they'll do more content and start looking at metrics and looking at like how many views they got and stuff. And that's they're putting all their attention and focus on that. But what they're not realizing is that that attention that they're putting on that is not going to help them to grow or scale their business as an entrepreneur. What helps you scale your business as an entrepreneur is how many conversations you have with people, right? The people that you're having conversations with are just people that have shown interest in your personal brand in some way. They've liked a post that you've done, they've engaged and they've expressed some pain around something that they're dealing with right now. And you're just having a conversation with them to see if you are someone that can help them with that. That's literally the most important aspect of an entrepreneur. And if you're not doing that, you have to ask yourself what's stopping you from doing that, right? Is it because you feel like an imposter? Is it because you feel like there is shiny objects that are in the way where you just think, oh, but maybe if I do this course and it's going to solve my problem, and oh, this looks nice, like maybe I should jump ship and go into this thing instead. That's the biggest constraint that an ADHD who's an entrepreneur has, right? Is putting their undivided attention on the main like activity that they have a constraint on, right? So if you want to scale your business, you have to have more conversations, more calls in the calendar, right? If you're someone that doesn't have any opportunity to have conversations with people because you haven't built any trust or you don't have any content that has actually attracted anyone to show interest in anything that you're talking about, because you haven't called out their pain or you haven't called out the outcome that they want, then you have to do more content, right? So it's just one out of the two. You're either doing more content or you're doing more conversations. And it just depends on which one is the most deprived, right? In terms of result that you want. So that's literally an entrepreneur's journey, right? And so my first activities for my day are conversations. Like I can't put anything else in front of that. But what I'm trying to tell you here is that there are things that sometimes get in the way of that, right? And I'd identify those things. Yeah, jump to my phone, went on IG. We're not supposed to be doing that. Okay, cool. I use my FBI journal for that. There's a link in the description for a free course that I have that talks about FBI in it if you want to check it out. But the FBI journal is looking at the friction that is in your journey, and looking at the things that work, the blessings, right? So there's only two things you should be really tracking. Is you should be looking at where the friction was for you to do the thing that you said he was going to do in that window of time that you said he's going to do it, or what was the blessing breakthrough or the key insight that you got from doing it, right? And then obviously when you track that, you get to know what to take away from the journey and what's going to help you to continue honoring your word and honoring that slot, right? And that's literally all I do every day is I ask myself, did I do those 4 hours that I said I was going to do in conversations? Yeah, I did. Awesome. But what made me really optimize for that? Maybe there was something I did in the morning routine that helped me to be more calm and settle into that 4 hours really well. That I'm gonna have to just keep doing, right? Maybe there was friction. Maybe it's because I picked up my phone first thing in the morning, and then it kind of got me in this loop of being continually distracted throughout my day. So FBI is really important, but then also just knowing exactly what you're going to do with your day is really important as well. Like you can't just go into a day, oh, what should I do today? Like, no, you should know already, like the day before. You should know at least 2 days ahead of what you're gonna do, right? So as an entrepreneur that has ADHD, this is something that I'm obviously challenged with every day, and I'm always using the FBI to help me to get back on track. And yep, let's just make sure I do a full 4 hours that I said I was going to do on that specific thing, right? So I have a system in place. I have a dashboard that helps me to do that. I just look at that dashboard. It tells me what the next thing I should do. And then I focus on that. And then next. And then I finish my day, right? Always tracking the data as I go. If you're someone who feels that that would be beneficial for you, for the type of work that you do, obviously just there's a link in the description. You can always jump on a call with me and just see how that system is working for me and how it might be able to work for you. It might not, right? It might not be for you. But if it's something that you have a bottleneck with, definitely might be worth just jumping on a call with me to see how I might be able to help you. And it's not just the entrepreneur journey, it's just anything in general that you want to make progress on that this dashboard that I have helps with and my program. So yeah, anyway, take care. Peace.